Hey everybody, it's Mike Dooley, and I'm signing on just a little bit early with my assistants here. Want to make sure that the sound is good, I need my hat. The sound is good, get rid of that glare, and that you can see me and that all is well. I want to make sure that you're happy. Let me get the video rolling here. Oh, turn it around. Hey, we're going to get started in a couple of minutes, right on time. Okay, oh, what an honor to be here. All right, so check this. Oh, what's on your head, little pumpkin?
A headband.
A headband? Are those real ears or fake ears?
Fake ears.
They're fake ears. So tell everybody your name. Rebecca. And Marisol is here as well. We're doing a sound check. Hey, this is life at home, and it doesn't get much better if you're me, man. I am blessed and I am privileged. So I know it's not the same for everybody out there. We got an amazing workshop coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Ivy, if you're watching, can you give Marisol a bling and tell her that all is good? Oh, I see some comments here from Iran. Oh my gosh. Hey, Nazinin, thanks so much for tuning in. It's great. I didn't know that I'd be seeing comments, but I do, and I'm grateful. So, your phone on silence?
It's in silence.
Did you get a message from Ivy?
Yes, Ivy said everything.
Everything is great. So, okay, you guys, I love you.
Say bye-bye to
I love you,
everyone.
Mama. And I'll see you all shortly while I give my attention to all of these great, gorgeous people that have signed up. Thank you for being here. We're going to get started in seconds, okay? It's almost 3 o'clock Eastern time. Rebecca, right now, please.
We can come in.
I love you, and we're going to hang out later, okay, sweetie? No te preocupes. Oh, I see a lot of comments here, live chat. Hey, if you can chat, it fills my heart with joy. And let's see here, the big countdown. Let me get my monitor ready. Big shout out to my team. Ivy, you heard me mention her name. Hope, oh my gosh, you two are amazing. Gina, Carly, and all the ones I've loved before. Thank you all for making this possible. It takes a team to make something like this happen. And they tell me what buttons to press, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Jambo, fellow adventurers, it's Mike Dooley here during a really exciting time in these sacred, hallowed jungles of time and space. I know it doesn't appear that way. Don't let your physical senses deceive you. This is not your dreams are on hold indefinitely. This is an incubation period that you are not giving yourself. This is incredibly fertile landscape, an opportunity for us to all go within and rearrange our priorities and drill down to truth. And that's what I'm going to do with you during this mini manifesting workshop that is titled Spiritual Possibilities in a Time of Uncertainty. How to emerge stronger than before. Now, I had a similar episode in my life 20 years ago. My story was, my life was a train wreck. And I felt like I had no life momentum, just liquidated a business, found out my girlfriend had a boyfriend and it wasn't me. And I was worried about losing my home. Now, it's relative. I wasn't on the verge of losing my home. But if I didn't figure out how to make some income quick, from a zero starting point, I would be forced to sell my home and I could not even sleep at night. Looking back, those are some of my fondest memories. And I think to myself, man, you go, little Mike, to my former self. You go because you can do this. And if you could see how quickly things can change and how this is setting you up for greatness, you would have a totally different sense about you. You'd be light-footed. You'd be giddy with joy. And having learned that lesson, I'm feeling that right at this moment in my life. And during this mini manifesting workshop, I want to impart my hard-earned lessons to you. I want to help you see the infinite spiritual possibilities that are whirling around that need your nod, that need acknowledgement, so that you can step into them, even though there's uncertainty, even though you self-doubt, even though you don't know how the heck you got where you are, irregardless of the pandemic and the lockdown and all of these things. Now, there is a PDF very beautifully designed by our own Gina, that goes with this workshop. And if you haven't already found it, it's now recently placed there, under the video that you're watching this broadcast on. By the way, there are countless thousands of you watching right now. So yeah, okay. I feel pretty good. I'm feeling your energy and I feel a lot of love. Thanks for the comments. But you might not be able to see that PDF. If you were earlier on the page and the platform, you need to hit refresh. I'll go ahead and do it right this moment. Hit refresh now. If you can't see the PDF, if you can, don't panic. You don't need to print it out. I'm going to go through all the bullet points, but you'll find that there are notes written by me in advance so that you have the key takeaways, and there is a full page worksheet for you to complete later on. It's simple, it's easy, and it gets you in the zone. But now, let me share with you my story. And then I'm going to glean from my story of 20 years ago, from fear to fortune, I call it, the key lessons that really I carry with me every single day of my life. And they're what I most want to impart to you during this mini manifesting workshop. So there I was 20 years ago, literally praying on my knees at the side of my bed before sleep. An old Catholic, hangover. Hangover is a good word. I'm not a Catholic anymore, but I'm deeply spiritual and deeply love life and the divinity that surrounds and swirls in our own DNA. So there I was, almost 40, which was, daunting enough. And without momentum, without clarity, no flipping idea of what I would do next. And I remember kind of tossing it to divine intelligence. It was God at the time. When I'm scared, it's not the universe. It is, dear God. And my prayers would go like this. I have no idea how I created this situation I'm in. But I know what I want. Friends and laughter, international travel, creative, fulfilling work. What the heck could that be? I've already done Pricewaterhouse CPA. I've already been an entrepreneur for 10 years, and it was good until it ended. You figure that out. What's next for me? I don't want to go backwards. And I wanted to be friends and laughter, creative, fulfilling work, wealth and abundance, no shame there, totally spiritual, and travel internationally again. And I followed that up with baby steps. Now, that time was just like this. Where the heck do you begin? Everybody's shut. Everyone's closed down. And you don't even know what the life of your dreams is. That was exactly me. You might think, oh, look what he's doing now. And obviously this is what he's meant to do. There's no meant to do anything. And back then I had never spoken. I had never written. I didn't have any inclination that this would be the path I took. But the next idea I had saved the day. I remember wondering if I should go within to find out what was wrong with me. And I remember thinking, if you do that, Mike Dooley, you're going to find so much stuff that you won't be able to move forward. You're going to be self-loathing and even further paralyzed. I mean, there's a place to go within, and we're going to talk about that in this mini manifesting workshop. But if you go within looking for what's wrong with you, you're going to find stuff and you're going to make stuff up, and then you're going to have to contend with stuff that wasn't even wrong with you to begin with. So I said, instead of looking for what's wrong with you, while this train wreck of your life is such a complex mystery, you know darn well how life works. You know who you really are. The eyes and the ears of God Almighty come alive in the dream of life because you could, because it's fun, because you're powerful, because there's love everywhere. It didn't feel like that, but at least intellectually, I knew, and will forever hold fast to these absolute truths. And I realized that it was a matter of me holding a vision of the life of my dreams, even though I had no idea how to get there. So the life of my dreams was those 4 pillars: wealth and abundance, friends and laughter, creative, fulfilling work, international travel. So that's what I dreamed of. That's easy. You know where you want to go, and you can dream those dreams. Stop thinking that you have to micromanage your way there. Stop thinking you have to find something wrong with you. You couldn't be more right nor more powerful than you are this very moment. And so that's what my game plan became. Look forward, and then follow it up with baby steps. But again, the baby steps, where? Assess your sucky options. I mean, hopefully you're not where I was, but I only had sucky options. Assess your sucky options because the yellow brick road's not coming to your front door. Choose the least sucky, the least 3 sucky, and go. Give yourself a deadline of 2 days. In all seriousness, go. Knock on doors, turn over stones, try stuff out. And then lo and behold, as I can see in hindsight, could not see it then, the stage starts shifting. Your big dreams have summoned serendipity, so-called coincidences and accidents that cannot reach you unless you're out of the house or at least on the internet these days. Be a lightning rod for serendipities that are being pressed to you because of your mighty ordained big picture dreams and end results. And so I went down the path of circulating my resume. That was one of the least sucky paths, to be a CEO, a CFO, a CNEO. Maybe I even considered going back into public accounting, even though I said I didn't want to. I was not going to lose my home. And then I started dabbling with the internet. I learned viral marketing. I learned affiliates. I started sending out emails that turned into notes from the universe, that turned into a daily thing. You know, when I wrote as Mike, they were never that popular. But one day I succumbed to this idea that never would have come to me had I not written as Mike to begin with. Just do what you can. It's not going to be glorious. It's not going to be glamorous. Maybe like me, it's embarrassing to be you. At least that's what you think. That's where I was 20 years ago. I would hide in my house, didn't want neighbors to see that I had liquidated my business. But the path, by knocking on different doors, trying different paths simultaneously, no need to be a hero and burn your bridges. Try it out. Dabble here. Write the book. Finish the manuscript. Circulate your business card. Date online. Just try everything. Some doors remain slammed shut, while other doors flew open. And sometimes, as I taught this morning, spiritual tune-up, knocking on one sucky door, a sexy door opens that never would have opened had you not knocked on that sucky door that never did open. Get in motion. The path you start out on will not be the path you arrive on. So start out on any dang path, and it will merge, and it will blend, and it will have highway signs, and then you'll meet a good buddy, and then somebody will tell you about a book, and then somebody will inspire you. And the next thing you know, well, in all honesty, it took a couple of years for my life to blast off. And during those couple of years, I thought nothing was happening. I thought everything I touched failed, which to the physical senses it did. My e-cards, my online shopping, my webinars, my bridge phone calls, speaking at Toastmasters made me sick. Nobody would interview me for Pricewaterhouse for my accounting background. Everything for about 2 years failed. And I would lament to my mother when I would bum cigarettes off of her. Mom, you know, when is my life going to take off? Nothing's happening. And then when you're not paying attention because you stay in gear, I woke up one morning and it was like, holy crap. I've got a trip to London coming up. I've got another one to Australia. I've got appointments and interviews. And it's like, I'm living the life of my dreams. I'm sending out notes from the universe. People are loving it. It's like, when did this happen? I did not cross an invisible line, go to bed one night, bummed out, and wake up the next morning. I made it. Life morphs so slowly. You can't even see the miracles that are happening before your very eyes. You don't see the miracles until long after they happen, but you gotta stay the course and drill down to the truth I was talking about. You are born to succeed. You have default settings to thrive. And then when you realize it's happened, you know what you think? You think that wasn't so bad. And you know what else you think? Dang, that was so fast for how far I've come. World tour? And on and on. An audio program that was the hottest thing selling on the internet, Infinite Possibilities, an invitation to be in this documentary by 2 unknown sisters from Melbourne, Australia. Please, I'm getting all kinds of invitations now. I can't do everything for everybody. What is this supposed to be? Documentary on, you're going to call it The Secret? All right. Love Rhonda and Glenda Byrne, will forever. And then because I was elevated in my profile for being in The Secret, the publishers who had flat out rejected Infinite Possibilities as a book, the audio program, publish it. And it debuts at number 7 on the New York Times bestseller list. My life is a fairy tale. And then when I thought it couldn't get any better, I'm speaking with Don Miguel Ruiz in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. my second great love. And I meet this woman who speaks zero English, which was a great compliment to my zero Spanish. Got on like a house on fire, stayed in touch, and have since concluded that not speaking the other's language is solid gold in a relationship. And we have a 6-year-old daughter who you met during the sound check just a minute ago, if you were early. It's like I pinch myself. I wonder, what did I ever do in my mortal, flailing, bad-mouthing baby steps with uncertainty, embarrassment? Everything seemed to be beneath me. What did I ever do to deserve so much? I was born as God Almighty in these sacred jungles of time and space, as were you. And I chose a life from the zenith of my godhood, knowing what was involved, knowing that the lions and tigers and bears would always be made of paper. Come on. How many things do we worry about that never come to pass? And even when they do come to pass, we're made better for them. And so now we find ourselves in this incredibly rich, fertile space during lockdown, with all sympathy to those who are suffering and who are ill, and with great tribute to all the first offenders and the grocery store employees who are risking their lives for our betterment. But here we are in this fertile time that you would not have given yourself, because you're on that wheel and you're running and you're putting out fires and you're taking care of everybody but yourself. Now you have no choice. So we're going to break into that PDF in just a moment, and I'm going to recount some of these lessons. But what's incredibly important to realize is that there's always order, that there's perfection in every moment, that you are bathed in love if you just stop and smell the roses and feel it cascading upon you. Just look at these comments you're writing me. OMG. So many people are watching right now. So just do what you can with what you got. Know the truth. And okay, if you have your PDF, great. If you don't have it and you tuned in late, refresh your page and the link is below. Not that you even need it right now. You don't, because I'm going to hit all the high notes. But print it out afterwards. Once after we're done talking, and this is history, hit refresh and print out your PDF. And incidentally, while my life was an utter train wreck 20 years ago, to the physical senses, that poor guy. Remember I said I didn't go looking for what was wrong with me because there'd be so much stuff. And I know there would be. I can tell you if I had taken that path, we wouldn't be having this one-way conversation right now. But in hindsight, when the dust is cleared and I can breathe and I see the beauty and the perfection, oh my gosh. Every failure was actually a building step for success. You know, the failed affiliate, I became a big-time affiliate person. The failed e-cards, that's how I got the word out. The free emails, that's how I told people what I was doing. It's like every failure was a building point, and then a building step. And then in hindsight, I can see so clearly that there was no train wreck. The train of my life stopped, which is really weird. I hope yours doesn't stop, so that it could change tracks and go further, faster, higher, better, farther than in my wildest dreams up until that point. Prior to the calamity, I was writing about life, dreams, and happiness on souvenir t-shirts, dreaming for a larger market, wanting to write full time. Then I had zero momentum. I was starting over to the physical senses. After the commotion, almost immediately, although at the time it felt like forever, I write about life, dreams, and happiness and reach more people. The train wreck wasn't even a train wreck. It was the beginning of the biggest dream of my life coming true. That's exactly what's happening right now. This pandemic is the beginning of the greatest healing ever witnessed by human eyes on planet Earth in recorded history. Sow your seeds, know the truth. Don't worry about the past. Look forward and prepare to be astounded. So now let me tell you the summary lessons from this little story. The PDF has 3 major lesson areas. Very, very simple. Make peace with your past. First lesson, you don't have to figure out how you got where you are to otherwise figure out how to blast forward on your terms. My biggest lesson. Don't even try to figure it out, especially if you're in hurt, if you're in pain, if more than the pandemic is distracting you right now and you're starting over your love life, you're starting over your health, you're starting over your finances. Don't even go there. You're going to be wrong. Whatever you think is wrong with you, you're going to add to it. You're going to make stuff up. Bear down to truth. Understand who you really are. This is all you have to do to reclaim your inheritance, prodigal child that you are. Number 2, where you are, oh God, where you are is never who you are. You are infinitely more. You've always done your best. You've always done the best you could with what you knew at the time. There's not even been any mistakes. Do you think when God decided to be you, and God most wanted to be you out of all other choices the day you were born, and still, as you take every breath, God most wants to be you because you give God that unique window at reality. You feel things with your heart that has never been felt before and will never be felt again. Do you think when God took that plunge to be you, God expected perfection? God expected squeaky clean? God expected wisdom from day one? Or did God know that there'd be bumps and trials and tribulations that would make your version of God invincible, that would set you up for the best? Do you think that God would put lions and tigers and bears on your life forever? And that once you see that they're paper, show up with more? Let me tell you what happened in the last 20 years. There's this upward spiral, baby. And the lions and tigers and bears are fewer and fewer and fewer in between. And best of all, when they start showing up as you're down this path, you welcome them. You got any issues today? Hallelujah! These are invitations for you to be more awesome than you knew to dream before, yet you couldn't get even halfway there because you didn't know there was a chink in your armor. This is what a challenge does for you. It says, come here. I want to teach you something you don't know yet. And these things get less and less. And when they show up, you're like, oh, I got more to learn. I can be even more amazing. There's a lot of room for me to go to be more amazing. I am a student every bit as you are. But it gets cool. It gets fun. It's amazing. The third lesson here is understand that because of your past, because of those mistakes, because of those violations you endured, and because of those times you violated, because of all of that, which was seen from the zenith of your magnificence, you're just in a dream world right now, which doesn't take away from its beauty, its importance, and its meaning. Because of those, you are up another 20 orbits. If your life had gone any differently than it has up until you hear these words right now, you would not be as ready as you otherwise are for the best. Don't let your physical senses deceive you. Oh, I'm getting older. Oh, it's not as easy now. Oh, shut up. You are poised. You are poised for happiness that you can't even comprehend. It's there. It's there for all of us. And when you get to that level of happiness and true divine ecstasy, there will even be further to go. This is the nature of a life in the jungles of time and space. This is why you said, okay, all right, I'm going to be scared. I'm going to fall flat on my face. I'm going to be locked down and without a paycheck and not able to pay my rent. But there's going to be hope everywhere. There's going to be infinite possibilities everywhere. There's going to be serendipities, friends in the unseen and the seen reaching out to me if I just reach, however seemingly futile and embarrassing it might be. We wouldn't have come here if the cards weren't stacked crazy in our favor. They are. Life's not fair, my friends. It's like you're cheating every day because it's more than fair. All right? Okay, unleash your power is the next lesson. This is now anchoring us in the present. There is absolutely, what a dangerous word to use. Absolutely nothing, meaning bar none. Oh man, I'm on thin ice right now. There's absolutely nothing else that will empower you more than truth. It is knowable, my friends. And please don't let this offend you. What I'm about to say is abrasive. I am not one of those people who goes around with a glad heart and says, everybody has their own truth. No, everybody has their own way to truth. And every path to truth, whatever they choose, if it's the voodoo gods, if it's the whatever, honor it, respect it. They need it. Everyone has their own path to truth. But everyone having their own truth, if you believe that, your power goes right out the window. If you believe that what's true for you is not true for somebody else, and what's true for them might not be true for you, and is what you believe to be true today, what you're going to believe to be true tomorrow, and maybe what you believe to be true now isn't really the truth is absolute. Now, I'm not starting a new religion here. When I have delved into this through introspection and reflective, contemplative thought, I can think of 5 absolutes. That's it. We're all of God. We're all one. Pretty redundant. There's only love. Pretty redundant. It's all unfolding divinely. Can't see that a lot of the time, but it's all unfolding divinely. And number 5, your thoughts become the things and events of your life. Without mitigation, without subterfuge, no matter what you did in a past life, no matter what your karmic score, you choose your focus today, and that paves the yellow brick road of tomorrow. Knowing this, you can be happy in the moment without just dwelling on tomorrow and just be like, wow, what other amazing things can happen when I show up with my baby steps? Who else am I going to meet? What other epiphanies? How hard am I going to laugh? Oh my gosh, it only gets better and better and better. Those are the absolutes, and there's only one with a variable, and that is thoughts becoming things. God doesn't decide what happens to anybody next. You decide that. Otherwise, you wouldn't know your power. It'd be like, oh, all of my negative thoughts are being deflected by my angels and by the divine. You wouldn't know if you're powerful or not. You wouldn't be living your own life. Somebody else would be picking and choosing what your next manifestation was. Now, don't freak out that every single thought is striving to become a thing at the same time, even though they are. This took me a while to get. Your positive thoughts, given your nature, meaning your thoughts in alignment with truth, are at least 10,000 times more powerful than your so-called negative thoughts, meaning thoughts not in alignment with truth. Remember, truth is absolute, and it's really, really simple. We're all one. We're all God. There's only love. It's all well. Thoughts become things. When you think thoughts in alignment like that, they become things like brrr. When you think thoughts like I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I can't do it, I don't like math, those thoughts are really hard to become things and events of our lives. I mean, not that we can't do it, but when you know that you're inclined to succeed, given your nature being of the divine, if you think 5 minutes positive visualization in a day and have 18 hours of fear, been there, done that, the 5 minutes will prevail. Your life is proof. You're happier than you're sad. You laugh more than you cry. You have clarity more than you're confused. You have friends more than you're alone. You're never totally alone. You've always had somebody to call. You have money more than you're broke. It's like crazy when you see through introspection and drilling down to these truths. Don't take my word for it. Go for a long walk and think, mustn't it be true that we are of God, by God, pure God? Otherwise, what did God make us of? Some gunk in his shed out in the back lot? Everything is God. There's only God. There's only love. And God creates with her focus, his focus, beyond human personality. So drill down to truth and realize you're inclined to succeed, and you don't have to be positive all the time. That would never work. You'll hate yourself because you can't do it. I worry to this day. I've got 50,000 people going to watch this thing. And I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh universe, I love you. But I knew that fear, I've learned, doesn't stand a chance when I do what I can with what I've got from where I'm at, drilled and immersed in truth that I can deduce and I can find in good books. I can't be stopped, and neither can you. Forget appearances. They lie, they lie, they lie. They only show you what you've manifested so far, and even then they don't show the order, that the train wreck is not a train wreck, but a train changing tracks. What I strongly want to urge everyone to do is to, from this day forward, and your worksheet gives you space for that, dedicate a little bit of time every single day, maybe a couple of times a day, to get grounded in truth. If anything I say rubs you the wrong way, chuck it, throw it, flush it down the toilet. But ask yourself, what is the truth? And I believe you'll be led back to these simple deductions that I have found on my own that were reinforced by some almighty books that I'm sharing with you on the PDF. There's a link to my recommended reading page, the Seth books, Ramtha, Richard Bach, Hermann Hesse, The Prophet. There's only like 16 books there that just rocked my world and confirmed what any open mind could deduce for themselves. The truth is your rock. And use these days, weeks, months, whatever it turns out to be, to immerse in it. 5 minutes a day. Give a dedicated time for thought and reading. And if, like me, you find some books with a good title, put them on your book stand. Okay? You don't even have to read them. Just seeing them is powerful. All right, so create that space to drill down to truth. This is your savior. The truth will turn lack into prosperity. The truth will turn sickness into health. The truth will turn confusion into clarity. The truth will turn lonely days into romantic days. The truth will set you free. Go there. Let this be the most important thing I tell you. It's knowable. It is the most knowable thing in the world, and it's your highest responsibility to say, what the heck is it? Given my situation, why am I running in circles? Why am I stubbing my toes? You know the answer. It will be revealed to you. Maybe not in that session, but a week later, you'll be walking the kittens and you'll have, whoa, I got it. It works. Summon it, invite it, expect it, the truth. The next thing I wanted to share with you, design your future. Okay. GPS navigation. I gotta move on. Design your future. If thoughts become things, that's your ticket. Let it be easy. And the best way to really get the profound nature of how the logistics through which our thoughts become things is GPS analogy, right? 2 steps for your car to take you to a place you've never been before. The analogy here is like freaky, uncanny. Okay, just like in your life, you want to go somewhere you've never been before. In GPS navigation, you put in the end result, the destination. You do not try to figure out how you're going to get there. You don't know how you're going to get there, and you can't know how your dreams are going to come true. You've got 60,000 thoughts a day. You've got lions and tigers and bears. You've got empowering beliefs and invisible limiting beliefs. It's like, chuck it. Destination. Friends, laughter, health, harmony, clarity, focus, fulfillment, joy, service. Done. After you define the end result and you visualize it, I use 4 minutes a day. Then step 2, in your car, put it in gear. It's not going to come to you. Vision boards galore in your home, your refrigerator, visualizing on the couch. Oprah's not calling. You got to go out into the world. And come on, I'm doing this virtually right now. You can do stuff virtually. You can meet new people on dating websites virtually. You can Google and explore health and harmony on the website. This is that sacred, fertile time to enrich your body, soul, and mind. And knock on doors. There's almost no profession that can't get started, can't get learned and trained, can't solicit clients and customers on the internet. So there's no reason why you can't actually put your car in gear now. The other parallel that's uncanny, a 2-hour drive to a best friend's house in a town you've never been to in your car. At what point do you know it worked? When you arrive. It's the same in life. You get no confirmation along the way. The miracles that are being paraded beneath your very nose are invisible and unknown until after the dream comes true. Wouldn't it be a travesty at, 30 seconds away from arrival and you're like, oh, this is not the right way. I don't see my friend. I must be doing it wrong. It works for everybody but me. I think I'll go back home and watch The Secret 20 more days in a row. It always works. It never fails. Doesn't matter what your invisible limiting beliefs are. You can beat them without knowing them. It doesn't matter how you got where you are. It's irrelevant to where you're going. End result, car and gear, do something about it, be immersed in truth. And as you slowly have this metamorphosis of a life that's changing, your inner witness will see this, and any invisible limiting belief you had no longer makes sense, and it is dissolved, poof, goes away without your awareness, and it's replaced by something empowering. I got this. It's easy. Totally suits me. It always works. Never fails. Okay, and refrain from having end results that depend on a specific person behaving a specific way, that insist on a certain how my dream will come true. There will always be a how, but don't insist at the outset. Hows are fine unless you insist or attach to them. And don't attach to unimportant details. All details are unimportant. There will always be awesome details in your life, bells and whistles, sexy galore. But don't insist or attach at the outset. It's the big picture, a rocking life, friends and laughter, laughing milk through your nose. Okay, that gives divine intelligence infinite possibilities, infinite roads, infinite people that are in alignment with you to get there. All right, let me wrap this up with a guided visualization. A guided visualization. I highly recommend that you close your eyes for this. Obviously, can't do that if you're driving. I highly recommend you do this. This is brand new, hot off the press, straight download from Divine Mind this morning. Okay, so I'd ask you all to close your eyes right now. I want you to imagine that you're sitting alone at the beach at sunrise, a deserted beach, and that it's a cool morning. I want you to hear the surf, the early rising seagulls out to fish, smell that salt in the air, and imagine that you're just a few years distant in the future from right now. You're brimming with joy. Everything is working in your life. You can hardly believe that even the things you didn't expect to happen, that you forgot to visualize, they're happening anyway. Such is the nature of your inclination. You are awed. You're giving gratitude. And a happy tear rolls down your cheek to where you can actually taste it in the corner of your quivering smile. You're agog at the serendipities that have been flooding into your life. You used to worry so much. You were afraid. You were always uncertain. But now all of that seems to be a distant memory. You used to obsess with what might be wrong with you. And you obsessed about how you could get it right. In spite of the fears, you got it so right. Even though you're not sure how you did it, you got it so right. And you just bask right now in the cool sunrise breeze, the waves, the salt in the air, and the seagulls, just overcome with joy, bordering ecstasy. Somehow, quite obviously, you let the universe shine on your life. You finally got out of your way. You stopped micromanaging. And as you gaze around at this fresh morning, way down on the beach, somebody's coming. Walking really slow, they're about a football field away. Like, oh crud. Here you are, hunched up, crying. They're totally going to have the wrong impression. What should you do? They're getting closer, now they're 50 yards away. Should you get up? Should you stay? Should you say good morning? Should you look away? And then you decide you're just going to stay put because this is just too sweet. And in a blink, they're going to be gone. You steal another glance and they're a lot closer, maybe 20 yards away. And that's weird. They're wearing your favorite old sweatshirt. How many of those could still be out there? Maybe it's the one you're wearing right now as your eyes are closed. They're wearing that same old sweat of yours. Oh my gosh, that's so weird. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't see who they are because their shoulders are slumped over. They seem like they've slowed down. They're getting slower, but nearer. 10 feet away, you look up to flash a big smile. And you're shocked. It's like you saw a ghost. You're speechless as you realize this is you. This is who you used to be in the early 2020, March 2020, April 2020, May 2020, not all that long ago. It's you. It's another version of you. Oh my God, this feels like the Twilight Zone. You jump to your feet. You don't know what to say, so you say anything. You blurt out a hiya, joy filling your voice, but they're unfazed. It's like they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. They don't hear you. They don't even see you. Now, as you're following along, I want you to keep your eyes closed. They walk right by you, almost brushing your shoulder, and you can see that you're not the only one crying this morning. except their tears aren't happy tears. What do you do? What do you say? It hits you. What did you most want and need to hear back then in April 2020? They keep walking away. You're completely invisible to them. Then it hits you. You're going to give them your best shot, your most profound insights, and you run walking side by side to them. I love you. Hang in there. Oh my God, if you could see where you're headed, forget where you are now. Focus on the present. Know that you are guided and loved. You are so close. Things can change so fast for the better. You're pleading, but they're unmoving, steadily walking away from where they found you. Big, huge things are coming your way. Keep the faith. Just keep showing up. Suddenly they stop walking. They look out at the ocean. They wipe a tear from their face and they crack a tiny smile. Then they smile wider, shake their head left and right, and laugh. At first a little, then a lot. Seems like they heard you in some mysterious way. Now they're doubled over, their shoulders hunched in laughter. Now they drop to their knees, arms outstretched as if to heaven, and you hear them say with clutched, pumping fists, "Thank you, thank you," pumping their fist in a sensed victory. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And then as you try one more futile time in vain to give them a hug, in an instant, they completely vanish. And you drop to your knees, facing the ocean, arms outstretched to heavens, fists clenched, pumping them, picking up right where they left off. "Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Ain't life grand? It's so beautiful. You are so gorgeous. You are so deeply, deeply loved." If you haven't, you can open your eyes. And we're near the end, over by 11 minutes of this mini manifesting workshop. I got to tell you, these started 20 years ago with my mother and brother when we were trying to launch a t-shirt company that was called Tut. And every Tuesday morning we would get together. And things looked bleak. That's always a good thing now, I know. That means you're ripe for transformation. And we would jam in a little diner before we would go to work. And we would share our favorite readings from books, immersed in truth. We would talk about how our lives were on the verge of blasting off, even though there was no evidence to support that. And we would envision our lives going forward as if we were already living the life of our wildest dreams. And this stuff happens because within years of that happening, or maybe 10 years of that happening, because this was in the early 1990s, one of the things that I envisioned back then was all these celebrities. That was important to me at one point, I'm ashamed to say, but celebrities would be reaching out to me. And it actually happened after The Secret came out. I was contacted by Sir Anthony Hopkins' wife, and they ultimately invited me to dinner at their house next time I was in LA. And I called my brother to say, "You won't believe who called me. Hannibal Lecter." And he's like, he thought I was kidding. He's like, "Oh, that's great, Mike, but you forgot the party. Come over now. It's a barbecue. Jay-Z and Beyonce just showed up. Click." It's like playing make-believe is the fastest way to believing. And that was the beginning of my ritual of masterminding every Tuesday morning. And these are weird times we're in right now, my friends. Calls for unusual behavior for a business. I continue to do, and have been doing it for 6 months, a mini manifesting workshop exactly like the one you just experienced, but shorter by 11 minutes or so. Never more, well, rarely more than 30, sometimes more like 20 minutes for my Infinite Possibility members. This is the community behind Notes from the Universe. I am inviting everybody watching this right now. I'm opening up the doors completely free. Call it a trial for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, you can join me this Tuesday and the next Tuesday for a 20 to 30 minute mini manifesting workshop on me. You can have access to 25 earlier recorded live fresh material mini-manifesting workshops. Members like you during this free 2 weeks get notes from the universe on the weekend. They're surrounded by a loving, supportive community. We have 3,000 members right now. We have multiple forums. You can inspire and be inspired. You will never feel alone. I didn't have this. I just had Mom and Andy back then, and Andy didn't believe me half the time. This is what we want to offer to everybody. A free 2-week dive to fill up your cup. Find out if this is something that's going to empower you during this fertile time at hand. Everything that's there is yours. Everything I have is yours. There's also Mike Dooley Radio 24/7. It's the best of the best. All of my audio programs strung together. I hear it's an awesome way to fall asleep at night. I'm going to take that as a good thing. You will never have far to go to be inspired. Listen to me on your cell phone. Listen to me on your tablet. Listen to me commuting or walking back and forth around your backyard or in your home. 2 weeks. And if during those 2 weeks you find you can't live without it, you're one of us, okay? Normally, it's $19.95 a month, okay? This is exactly the mini manifesting workshop I just did. It's now free for everybody. It's not $19.95 a month for 2 weeks. If you like it, stay on board. Your credit card will be charged. 3 days before any charge, we're going to send you an email. You sign up today for the 2-week run of the shop. Your card will never be charged. We'll send you an email 3 days prior saying, hey, if you can't live without us, we're going to charge your credit card. If this is not your cup of tea, if this is not all that, if Mike Dooley can't keep up this tempo, then your card will never be charged. So if you click the link below, if you don't see the link below, you need to refresh your screen because it was only just added. Click the link below, and while you're there, let me tell you, while you refresh, let me tell you, this mini manifesting workshop has been recorded. You can watch the video for at least, the rest of this year for free. And you can share it with friends for free. Also, you didn't get closed caption during the broadcast, to my knowledge, but the recording will have closed caption free. Also, we're going to upload probably by tomorrow a free MP3 downloadable audio only, put it on your smartphone, of this entire 40-minute mini manifesting workshop. So if this stuff resonates with you, you're one of us. I could not have achieved all that I've achieved if I didn't have the ability to immerse in truth and be surrounded by supporting peeps. It used to be Mom and Andy. Now Andy and I have each other. My sister's out there always helping me as well on a daily basis, and the Infinite Possibilities community. So I hope you enjoy this free deep dive. Thanks from the bottom of my heart to the thousands of you who have signed on and are watching this. I think that's everything. Remember, you're inclined to succeed. You are born to thrive. This whole world is all here to support you, and so am I. So until we meet in the flesh, lots of love, tally ho, your thoughts become things, and you are utterly, utterly adored. And I hope to see you this coming Tuesday morning.